Well, that was the dumbest movie I've ever seen. So, yeah, spoiler alert, this is one of the dumbest movies I have ever seen. So, me in my bright pink outfit, and, well, you all know the title card, so Bratz the movie. I Now, before we get into it, I might as well talk about a few things about Bratz. First of all, I grew up during a time when the Bratz dolls were around. I really thought they were miniature Barbies with just gigantic lips. I remember my church had a kids sale where you used fake money to buy some toys, and somehow the Bratz were there. And I picked one of the dolls up, and well, as soon as Mama saw what I had, she pretty much made me put it back, and I exchanged it for a Polly Pocket doll. I like the Polly Pocket doll better, but I wasn't sure why Mama wanted me to get rid of the the Bratz doll, but well, I guess I had to find out later. That basically during that time they just looked like over sexualized Barbie dolls. And just smaller, obviously. And when Brett's the movie, at one point I saw it on passing on Netflix and just thought, whatever, I'm not interested in this movie. And then later on, I saw some of Animat's reviews, and in each of the reviews that he did regarding this movie, he had always said this was the worst movie he had ever seen. Somehow, even worse than Garbage Pail Kids, which I don't know how that's even possible because, I mean, I've seen clips of the Garbage Pail Kids and even reviews of it, and especially the Nostalgia Critic's review of it, and how he says that's the absolute worst thing he's ever seen. And that movie's just unwatchable. It's just gross. Whereas Bratz the movie actually is a little nicer to look at, but doesn't always make it pleasant to sit through. Okay, so Animat, I get why he says that this is the worst because the characters are all stupid and nothing in it is real, and even in fantasy, nothing works. It's just stupid all around. So, what's the plot? If there even is such a thing as a plot in this movie. So basically, it consists of these four girls that refuse to join these school cliques that have been assigned by the student body president, Meredith. And she forces everybody to be in them. Why? For order. Why should she be concerned with it? Because she's the principal's daughter, and somehow that puts her in charge of everyone. How? And when she sees that the girls stay together and refuse to be separated, she does everything in her power to foil them from starting a school food fight to throwing another super sweet 16, even though she already had a super sweet 16, all in order to humiliate them, making sure that they don't enter the talent show, and big shock. All her plans fail to separate them. Oh boy, oh boy. Where do I even begin with this movie? So, this whole film had the writing of a kid playing with his toys while watching High School Musical, Mean Girls, and Cheetah Girls. Every moment in there was either an extreme ripoff of these movies or just plain stupid. For instance, the school has cliques that literally include kids who dress up like dinosaurs, and the principal somehow gets a statue of himself in the middle of the schoolyard. You know, I haven't been in high school for a long time, but last time I remember, the principal never gets a bust in the middle of the quad. But The most that they've ever gotten, or that I've ever seen any of them get, was a picture on the wall, I, along with the other past principals of this school. And I, yeah, and also the last time I went to high school, we were never assigned to cliques. There were clubs set up for each of us. Whether we chose the chess club, the God's Property Club, the what else is there? Um, well, studying for the SATs, and yeah, we chose our own clubs. We went to these different clubs. Obviously, the ones that I went to were, of course, God's Property and the chess club because I love chess. But I was never assigned to these cliques. I mean, and I mean, even if somebody tried to assign me to them, I pretty much would turn it down because you know what? Nobody knows what I think, and also, in high school, kids are developing their own minds and mindsets and their likes and dislikes and exploring them. Nobody needs to assign them. I They form their own cliques. Cliques aren't formed for them. I and I That's just one of the things that is so dumb about this movie. Nobody chooses cliques for anybody. You choose your own cliques. I, and the characters. Baloney, 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 baloney. All of them are baloney. I mean, like, totally. Valley Girls. Like, totally. And yeah. I These four girls, I feel bad for them. Most of them, I mean, well, about half, two of these, two of these four girls are first timers, and, well, with the exception of Chloe, they give it their best. Chloe is just, the actress playing her just, mm-mm. Didn't do that good of a job. Really needed to do better. Needed to take two. Needed a better directing advice. And I feel even worse saying directing advice because this director later on went to do Soul Surfer. Soul Surfer. That was a phenomenally better movie. I, which by the way, go look it up. It's about about a real life surfer who lost her arm in a shark attack. So yeah, I'm glad you went on to do better, but why this movie? I and gosh, the only characters that really I give credit to the girl playing Meredith, the antagonist, for at least trying. I mean, she really looks like she's relishing every moment that she could be this, like, totally evil Valley Girl stereotype as well, who's making all the trends and I'm ordering all the clicks. But yeah, I mean, it's like they're trying to make her another Regina George, but here's the difference between Regina George and Meredith. Regina George pretty much, she forced her parents to switch bedrooms, and I think that if Regina George had the opportunity of being student body president, she would have, been able to. I mean, she would have made sure that she swapped places with her parents, in being the principal. Whereas Meredith, how come she does not become principal of this school? Like, why does she stay as student body president? Why does she not do more with what she like? I mean, why did she not do more with the somehow unlimited power that she's given? And and if anybody says, why does her dad stop her? I'd like to know that too. I'd like to know why her dad, who is the principal, doesn't stop her. And why he's somehow under her control. Why everybody around her seems to be under her control. Because that's not how it works. So, yeah. But back to the four girls, aka the Bratz. The reason for the name of the movie. They are not well developed at all. I already mentioned about the acting from most of them. I I mean, yeah, there's one who loves science, the cheerleader, the soccer player, and the singer. And aside from the singing and dancing, I don't believe anything about them. I don't. I mean, that science girl clearly knows nothing about science. Is just making up all these words, all these phrases, and all these different non-existent chemicals. I am putting them together. I mean, that's not science. I and just claiming that you're a scientist doesn't work either. And then, well, the soccer one, she clearly fouls her way through the first round. Yeah, if you watch the movie and see that moment where she's trying out for soccer, she has about 3 fouls on her belt, and somehow she's still accepted. Um, out, out, out is what I would say. I, but yeah, and also the bigger crime about these 4 characters is that if you took the title out of the picture, you would barely be able to tell that they're related to the Bratz toy line. I mean, they look like they could be any girls at all. I mean, and I okay, I mean, they look like they could be any girls at all. And um, the point of this movie was to be representing the Bratz in live action, and it doesn't really show. I mean, maybe if they had similar features to the Bratz, like the bigger lips or the bigger feet, with the very high heels, maybe you'd come closer. But if you did something like, I say that Taylor Swift was playing Barbie, I believe it because she has similar features to a Barbie. Or, well, Margot Robbie already pulled off a good Barbie imitation, and she looks like she could potentially be any Barbie. These girls do not look like they could be Bratz dolls at all. They just look like they could be anybody. And, um, yeah. And let's also talk about something else that even Animat had to talk about. One of the side characters, specifically Dylan, who is supposedly deaf, he's supposed to be a jock but secretly loves music. That actually sounds like a great idea. Give the movie to him. The only problem is, the director is not helping the actor behave convincingly that he's deaf. I mean, there's plenty of scenes where he's not reading lips and he replies to people like he can hear them. Like, not even trying. This movie would have done better if they studied how anybody deaf communicates. Like I said, give the movie to him. This is a really interesting idea. I, a kid who's deaf, has to play in sports but loves music. That's a cool movie idea. Why didn't you go with that? And on top of that, study how somebody deaf communicates, because this is going to offend somebody who cannot hear. And well, let's get to the thing I hate the most about this movie. I don't hate the movie entirely, but this is something I very, very much hate about this movie. I hate that it's about trying to empower friendship, integrating, and standing out. It's not a bad message. I love that message. The problem is, you're doing it with the Bratz dolls. Those are the dolls that are about showing off. They're not about integrating and friendship. I mean, this is a message for My Little Pony. This is not for Bratz toy lines. Unless you have amazing writers. I talk about this a lot in some of my Facebook posts, but there are 2 episodes from My Little Pony that do this message amazingly, and that is in season 5, episodes 1 and 2, where they show how, despite how being the same is safer, perhaps, being yourself is a lot more freeing and a lot better. And it could even I bring you closer together as friends. Differences I make an even more amazing friendship when differences unite. I mean, if you've got amazing writers for Bratz, in order to portray that message, kudos to you. Bring them on because this movie does it so poorly. I, all right. I've mentioned already a lot of the things that Animat's already covered. I, so, what's something I could talk about that Animat has not talked about yet? Well, the good stuff. Yes. In spite of what Animat says, I can see some good stuff in this. I mean, there are very few movies where I can see anything, where I cannot see anything good in this. Even The Last Airbender and Mean Girls 2 actually had a few good moments and a few good things that I liked about it. This has plenty of good things about it, like the side actors. These are some very, very good actors. I feel so bad that they're in this. I and I like looking at the costumes and the clothes that the brats have to wear. I mean, they're so pretty and they're fun. I mean, I don't condone everything about the brats, but I like these clothes and I like some of the fashion choices they give these four actors. And, well, like I said, two of them actually do a fairly decent job. And again, the actress of Meredith really seemed like she was having the time of her life. And I especially love her bratty little sister. I mean, seriously. I mean, she's just a lot of fun. And her snarky remarks. I mean, she's easily the best actress out of all of them. And even though some of these songs are painful, like, oh my gosh, Gratitude, like, who wrote this song and thought, oh yeah, that's gonna catch on, that's gonna be great? Who wrote that song and thought that that was gonna be great? But the choreograph, the singing, I mean, and again, the costumes, they look really good. I mean, they were really trying with each of these five actresses. But really, they could have done so much better. And that's about it. I will not say this is the worst movie I've ever seen. I mean, I get why it drives Animat mad and up the wall. But I don't think it's my worst. I think it's the dumbest movie I've ever seen. Not necessarily in a so bad it's good way, except for maybe a few moments. But, I mean, like, here's another good thing. This joke actually was kind of funny. So, the principal's reading how to run a prison while he's running the school. That actually was kind of funny. Because, some people think that that school's like a prison for some kids. I get it. But yeah, this is one of the dumbest movies I've ever seen. And I'm grateful that everybody moved on to do better. But, well, like I said again, I don't think this is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. But it's definitely one of the dumbest movies. If you want a movie that you want to know the two movies that anger me more than this movie? Last Airbender and Mean Girls 2 anger me more. This one just has me chuckling at a few moments and angry at others, but I laugh a lot more at this than I do those two movies. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day and happy December!